Hello everyone, in this video we'll discuss a poem Easter 1916 written by William Butler Yeats. William Butler Yeats received Nobel Prize in Literature in 1923. This poem Easter Rising is about the political event called political event in Ireland called Easter Rising. Easter Rising was an armed resurrection against the British Empire. Britain wanted to get free, they wanted to get the home rule of Ireland, and they wanted to overthrow the British from their country. For that, they did armed resurrection, armed rebellion on the occasion of Easter. That was Monday, Easter Monday. Date was Easter. Day was Easter Monday, April 24, 1916. So on this year, on this month, date and day, Easter, on the day of Easter, the Easter Rising took place. That was a revolution, an armed revolution against Britain. So this was a political event, and after that event, though the rebellion was a failure and 16 of the revolutionary were executed, 16 जो revolutionary थे उनको फांसी दे दी गई. But after that, this rebellion become famous, the right or the demand for the home rule become famous, and ultimately the goal was achieved. So in this poem, William Butler Yeats remember how the revolution began, what was the condition of the country before revolution. Mainly this poem talks about the ambivalent attitude of William Butler Yeats on this event, and as well as he commemorates or pays the homage to the revolutionary. So this is the background of the poem. This poem was first written between May and September 1916. May and September 1916. He published this poem, William Butler Yeats published this poem privately, and 25 copies were distributed among the friends. For the first time in 1920, it was published in a magazine, and in 1921, this is the date that you should remember, 1921, this poem was published in William Butler Yeats collection, Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, Michael Robertus, R-O-B-E-R-T-A-S, Michael Robertus, and the Dancer. So in this collection, this poem Easter 1916 was published. So now let's start the poem. In the first stanza, poet talks about what was the attitude of the revolutionaries before the resurrection began, before this rebellion began. So he says that before the rebellion, they were the normal people, and William Butler Yeats used to meet them every day. So he says, I is Yeats. He says, I have met them. Who are them? Revolutionaries. I have met them at close of day. So what is close of day? Evening. So it's a name change, and name change is called metonymy. It's an example of metonymy. M-E-T-O-N-Y-M-Y. Metonymy. So I have met them. Yeats claimed that used to meet the revolutionary at every evening, coming with vivid faces, means different faces. Why different faces? Everybody has different occupation, they are different kind of people, and how they used to come, from where they used to come, from counter. It means counter ke piche, it means clerical work or shop work. It means counter, means clerical work or shop work. or shop work, and desk means office work. So they used to come from the shop work or office work. From where? From grey 18th century houses. So Dublin was famous. Dublin, that is the capital of Ireland, was famous for 18th century grey old buildings. So poet says that in Dublin, poet used to meet the revolutionaries before the revolution, when they used in at the evening when he used to return from the offices. And how he used to have interaction with them? I have, who is I? Yeats. Here, I is Yeats. Yeats says, I have passed with a nod of head. Sir hilake. So what do you do when you meet the people whom you know? So you just nod the head or you say hi, hello words. So for hi, hello words, he says polite, meaningless words. So when he used to meet these revolutionary who used to be his acquaintances, जो उसके acquaintances परिचित होते थे, तो वो जब उनसे मिलते थे तो थोड़ा सर हिलाते थे देख के, या polite meaningless words. So what are these polite meaningless words? Hi, hello बोलते थे. और have lingered. Lingered means waited. अ वाइल, थोड़ी देर के लिए रुकते थे, एंड सेड पोलाइट मीनिंगलेस वर्ड. और क्या बोलते थे? पोलाइट मीनिंगलेस वर्ड ही बोलते थे, हाय हेलो में बात करते थे. एंड थॉट, अगर इनके साथ कोई, इन लोगों के साथ रिवॉल्यूशनरी जो उनके फ्रेंड भी हैं, उनके साथ अगर कोई मजाक करते थे, मॉकिंग टेल बोलते थे, या कोई जाइब देते थे, मतलब सरकाजम क्रैक करते थे, मजाक करते थे, टॉन्ट करते थे, तो उससे पहले वो सोचते थे कि इसको जब इवनिंग में जाएंगे तो अपने दोस्त को फायर साइड पे बैठेंगे, अपने दोस्त को, और बताएंगे कि आज ये बात हुई थी. एंड थॉट और सोचता था, बिफोर आई हैड क्रैक्ड told a mocking tale or cracked a jibe to please a companion, that this tale would please a companion around the fire at a club. So when he will go in the club in the evening, he used to think that when I'll go in the club in the evening, so I'll tell my friends how I told a mocking tale or cracked a jibe with these people, with these acquaintances whom they used to meet every day by the evening. Being certain, poet claims that he was certain that they and I, who? Revolutionaries and he, but lived where motley is on. Motley is of different kind of people. So here motley is about miscellaneousness, that they are miscellaneous people and they were just living regular and unimportant life. So being certain, वो certain थे कि वो revolutionary और वो खुद कैसी लाइफ जी रहे हैं, where motley is on. तो इस लाइन का मतलब हो गया, they were living irregular unimportant lives, that they were living regular unimportant lives. Now poet says that it was their relationship with the revolutionary was very common, very normal, and they used to talk, they used to crack the jibe, they used to say mocking tale, they used to meet every day in the evening, passing, exchanging polite meaningless word. But now poet says that after the revolution, all changed. Revolution के बाद सब बदल गया है, changed utterly, because a terrible beauty is born. Now see, this terrible beauty is the example of oxymoron. oxymoron. Oxymoron is when two opposite words are placed by side. जब दो opposite word को side by side place करते हैं तो हम उसको कहते हैं oxymoron. तो why this is terrible beauty? Because terrible is because after this revolution, because this was an armed revolution, so destruction has taken place. But at the same time, after this destruction, a beautiful feeling for the freedom has emerged. So beauty is because the feeling of, here there is no place, so I'm not writing, the beautiful feeling of the for the home rule or for the revolution, for the independence has become. So this terrible beauty is born out of this revolution. So this is the first stanza. Now let's come to the second stanza. Now in this stanza he remembers all the revolutionaries without giving the name, and because it was written for the Ireland and the people already know कि किसके बारे में बात की जा रही है. तो first he talks about a woman. He says that woman. First I must tell you कि ये स्टैंजा जो है ये डेडिकेटेड है काउंटेस मार्किविस गोरबूथ को. काउंटेस COUNTESS Countess. I'm only writing Countess Markievicz और the whole name was Countess Markievicz Gorbuth. ये आप ईस्टर 1916 का 1 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन करेंगे तो उसमें आपको पूरा नाम मिल जाएगा. काउंटेस मार्किविज KIEVICZ गोरबूथ. सो ये पूरा लाइन उसके लिए है. And this next line, this man who had kept a school, this next 2 line will be for Patrick Pierce. So first let's do the first stanza. First stanza that is dedicated to Countess Markievicz. So he says that women's days, whose Countess Markievicz's days were spent in ignorant goodwill. See, again there are opposite words. So this is the example of oxymoron. Opposite words side by side place किए गए हैं. So he claims that she had a goodwill, she had a good intention, but she was ignorant about it. So we have already discussed that William Butler Yeats believed that revolution was good, but armed revolution was not good. So the death that occurred and this all was unnecessary. These deaths in fact were the unnecessary death. So he says that woman's days were spent in ignorant goodwill. Her nights in argument. It means from morning till night she was doing the argument in the favor of revolution. So अगर वो revolution uprise कर रही है तो she must fight and she must discuss with a lot of people. So he claims that her nights in argument on she kept on doing the arguments. She kept on she must be the part of the revolution. So poet claims that her nights in argument until, कब तक उसने argument किया? Until her voice grew shrill, जब तक उसकी आवाज़ जो है shrill नहीं हो गई, तीखी नहीं हो गई. Now he claims that what voice more sweeter than hers? There was no voice there that were more sweeter than hers. When young and beautiful, when she was young and beautiful, her voice was sweet. She used to go on hunting. She rode to harriers, means she used to go on hunting. Harrier is always something related to hunting. So harrier is also hunting dogs. Harrier are also hawks. Birds are also called harriers. So यहाँ पे she rode to harriers means she used to go for the hunting. So this kind of woman she was, but now she has taken her part in the revolution. Next, the men had kept a school and rode our winged horse. So this is the reference of Patrick Pierce, PATRICK, Patrick Pierce, PEARCE. So he says that this man had kept a school, he used to run a school and rode to our winged horse. So what is winged horse? Winged horse is poetry, is a Greek reference, poetry. So this is the example of name change. So this is the example of metonymy, METONYMY, example of metonymy. So rode to the winged horse. Now this other, he says this other is his friend. This other, his helper and friend, was coming into his force. He also joined him in the force, in the armed resurrection. So this other man is Thomas Macdonagh. THOMAS, Thomas Macdonagh, MACDONOGH. So he was his friend. So the other helper and friend was coming into his force. He might have, now here he is for this person, Patrick Pierce. This line, now from here, this line is again for Patrick Pierce. He might have won fame in the end because he used to ride our winged horse, means he used to write poetry. तो ये claim करते कि उनको लास्ट में fame मिल ही जाता. क्यों मिलता? So sensitive his nature seemed, because his nature was sensitive around the things that were going around him. And as William Wordsworth has said, that poet must be endowed with the extraordinary sensibility. So he says that so sensitive his nature seemed, so daring and sweet his thought. उसके थॉट भी बहुत डेयरिंग और स्वीट थे, तो एट लास्ट में उसको पैट्रिक पियर्स, तो ये अगेन 2 लाइन जो है वो किसके लिए है, पैट्रिक पियर्स के लिए, कि उसको मिल जाता फेम लास्ट में. नाउ ही सेज, नाउ नेक्स्ट these lines are for John McBride. John McBride. John McBride was the husband of Maud Gonne, and Maud Gonne was a long time love interest of W.B. Yeats. Throughout his life, he proposed Maud Gonne 3 times and got rejected. And all his poetry has some or other way influenced of Maud Gonne. So when Maud Gonne married to McBride, their relationship was abusive, though this and Maud Gonne charged McBride of domestic abuse, though the charge were never proved, yet they were separated. So here he writes to this John McBride that this other man I had dreamt, ये अदर मैन जिसको मैंने सोचा ही था कि क्या है, ये ड्रंकन है, ये शराबी है, एंड वैन ग्लोरियस लाउट है. तो वैन ग्लोरियस का मतलब होता है एरोगेंट, अ पर्सन. वैन ग्लोरियस मीन्स अ पर्सन हु इज एक्सेसिवली प्राउड ऑफ वन सेल्फ और वंस अचीवमेंट, मीन्स बीइंग वेन और बोस्टफुल. तो यहाँ पे वेन ग्लोरियस के लिए एरोगेंट लिख सकते हैं. एंड लाउट इज अ पर्सन, लाउट इज अ यंग मैन हु बिहेव्स इन अ वेरी रूड, रफ और स्टूपिड वे. तो हम लोग वेन ग्लोरियस लाउट को अगर लिखना चाहे तो ऐसे लिख सकते हैं, एरोगेंट, गुड फॉर नथिंग, ड्रंकर्ड. ये पूरे लाइन के लिए ड्रंकर्ड. वेन ग्लोरियस लाउट को क्या लिख सकते हैं, एरोगेंट, गुड फॉर नथिंग, ड्रंकर्ड. An arrogant, good for nothing, drunkard. So he says that this other man I had dreamt, इस दूसरे इंसान को मैंने सोचा था ड्रंकर्ड है, वैन ग्लोरियस है. he had done most bitter wrong, इसने बहुत गलत किया है, to some who are nearer to my heart. So who are nearer to his heart? Maud Gonne, Maud Gonne's daughter Isolde Gonne. So पर पोएट कहते हैं, it says yet I number him in the song. फिर भी I'm taking the name of John McBride in this song. I'm paying him the homage. Why? Because he too has resigned his part. Because leaving everything, his life, regular life and everything, उसने अपना पार्ट रिजाइन किया है, अपना पार्ट प्ले किया है किसमें, इस कैजुअल कॉमेडी में. तो देखिए कैजुअल कॉमेडी यहाँ पे रेफर किसको करता है, ईस्टर राइजिंग को, द ईस्टर राइजिंग को. और क्योंकि इन्होंने बोला है कैजुअल कॉमेडी, ईस्टर राइजिंग वॉज अ सीरियस थिंग बट स्टिल ही हैज कॉल्ड इट अ कैजुअल कॉमेडी. वाई? बिकॉज इट इज अ sarcasm pointing to unnecessary loss of life. बिकॉज ऑलरेडी वी डिस्कस कि यीट्स मानते थे कि ये ईस्टर राइजिंग जो आर्म्ड रेजरेक्शन था वो जरूरी नहीं था, हो सकता है लास्ट में ब्रिटिश होम रूल अलाउ कर देती. तो ये मानते थे कि ये जो आर्म्ड रेजरेक्शन था वो गलत था, वो नहीं होना चाहिए था. तो यहाँ पे ये सरकाजम के सेंस में है कैजुअल कॉमेडी. और वो क्या पॉइंट आउट करता है, अननेसेसरी लॉस ऑफ लाइफ. लेट मी राइट इट फॉर यू. Necessary loss of life. So he says that he too has changed his turn. Who is he? This John McBride has also changed in his turn. जब उसकी बारी आई तो वो भी चेंज हो गया. Transform utterly and the terrible beauty is born. So we have terrible beauty is born. हम लोगों ने already इसको डिस्कस कर लिया. Why terrible beauty? Because it was destructive, but at the same time it rose the beautiful revolution of freedom among the Irish people. तो ये जो है, क्योंकि हर लाइन के लास्ट में है तो हम इसको क्या बोलेंगे, रिफ्रेन. REFRAIN. लेट मी राइट इट हियर, यहाँ लिख देती हूँ, रिफ्रेन. REFRAIN. अगर कोई लाइन, if a line is repeated again and again at the end of a stanza, so we call it refrain. So this is the second stanza. Now let's come to the third stanza. Now he says the attitude of the revolutionaries, and he claims that revolutionaries left all their day-to-day lives, day-to-day activities, and like a stone, एक पत्थर that troubles the living stream. If a stream is going और एक जल धारा बह रही है और उसके बीच में एक पत्थर है and there is a stone placed between it, so it disturbs the motion of the living stream. So he says that revolutionary whole the life of the Ireland was moving like a living stream, or these people were like the stone who disturbed the regular life, like the stone were placed among the regular life of the Irish people, and they disturb the regular life. So now he says at the same time, you see at the same time he is praising them, and at the same time he is claiming that it was the unnecessary practice that they did. So he says, heart with one purpose alone. Whose hearts? The hearts of the revolutionaries with one purpose alone through summer and winter. Whether it was summer, winter, they were indifferent of the season and the comfort of their lives, and through summer and winter seem enchanted to stone. They were enchanted, attracted, mesmerized to a stone to trouble a living life, a living stream. So as यहाँ पर this is an example of metaphor. So here the heart of the revolutionaries has been compared with stone. So this is an example of metaphor. So he says that the heart of the revolutionary has been like the stone, and as stone disturbed the living stream, same as the revolutionary disturbed the regular life of the Ireland. Now he says that everything changed, everything changes, but the heart or the purpose of these revolutionary did not change, even though the weather passed, even though the season passed. So he says that he gives a lot of example from the nature to show that everything changes minute to minute. The horse that comes from the road, एक horse जो road से आ रहा है उसका rider, the birds, the pakshi, the birds that range, that fly from cloud to tumbling cloud, जो एक cloud से दूसरे cloud तक उड़ते हैं, minute by minute change, ये change होते हैं. The shadow of the cloud on the stream. So if there are clouds on the sky, और उसका स्ट्रीम पे जो सैडो पड़ रहा है, बिकॉज क्लाउड्स आर ऑलवेज फ्लोटिंग, तो उनका स्ट्रीम पे सैडो भी क्या होता है, वो चेंज होता है, चेंजेस मिनट बाय मिनट. हॉर्स हुफ. सो व्हाट इज हॉर्स हुफ? हॉर्स के पाँव के नीचे जो सॉडिंग होती है उसको बोलते हैं हॉर्स हुफ. हॉर्स हुफ स्लाइड ऑन द ब्रिम ऑफ समथिंग, द टॉप ऑफ समथिंग, एंड अ हॉर्स प्लेसेस विद इन इट. पानी का जो छप होता है, प्लेसेस विद इन इट, वो भी चेंज होता है. द लॉन्ग लेग्ड मूर हेन्स डाइव. लॉन्ग लेग, लंबे लंबे पाँव वाली जो मूर हेन्स है, दे डाइव. एंड हेन्स कॉल टू मूर कॉक्स. So hens calling to the moor cocks, hen calling to the cock tells about the reproduction, that they are engaged in the natural activities of sexuality and reproduction. So बोलते they also hen call the cocks, and minute by minute they live, and they are living minute by minute, they are living regular life. द स्टोन इज इन द माइंड्स ऑफ ऑल. लेकिन स्टोन इनके बीच में जो होता है वो चेंज नहीं होता है. सब कुछ चेंज होता है लेकिन स्टोन चेंज नहीं होता है. और इस स्टोन से किसको कंपेयर किया गया है? हार्ट को मेटाफोरिकली कंपेयर किया गया. किसके हार्ट को? हार्ट ऑफ द रिवॉल्यूशनरीज. तो ये बोलते हैं कि रिवॉल्यूशनरीज का हार्ट जो है वो चेंज नहीं होगा, सब चेंज हो रहा है. तो अब देखिए चेंज के लिए कौन कौन सी चीज़ें हैं वो थोड़ा आप याद रख लेंगे कि हॉर्स है, राइडर है, बर्ड है, क्लाउड है, शैडो ऑफ क्लाउड है, हॉर्स हुफ है, हॉर्स से रिलेटेड हो गया, मूर हेन्स है, कॉक्स है, एंड ऑल देयर एक्टिविटीज एट चेंज मिनट बाय मिनट. बट ही सेज दैट स्टोन डज नॉट चेंज, एंड stone has been compared with the heart of the revolutionaries, as stone does not change, same as the heart of the revolutionary is not changing. Their heart has become a stone, is enchanted to a stone, and in their heart there is only one purpose of revolution through summer and winter. So with this determination, with this stone like determination, these revolutionary executed the revolution on Easter day. Now let's come to the last stanza. So the last stanza is, poet claims that too long a sacrifice. These revolutionary did sacrifice for a very, very long period of time through summer and winter. Their heart was enchanted to a single purpose like a stone, एंड दे वर्कड वेरी हार्ड, दे मेड अ लॉट ऑफ सेक्रीफाइस फॉर दिस रिवॉल्यूशन, क्योंकि उन्होंने बहुत सारे सेक्रीफाइस किए इस रिवॉल्यूशन के लिए। तो ये बोलते हैं अगर आप बहुत लंबे समय तक सेक्रीफाइस करते हैं तो आपका हार्ट भी जो है स्टोन की तरह हो जाता है। टू लॉन्ग अ सेक्रीफाइस कैन मेक अ स्टोन ऑफ हार्ट, इट्स अ वेरी ब्यूटिफुल लाइन, टू लॉन्ग अ सेक्रीफाइस कैन मेक अ स्टोन ऑफ हार्ट। ओह व्हेन मे इट सफाइस, व्हेन इट बी इनफ, ये सेक्रीफाइस जो है काफ़ी कब होगा, इनफ, सफाइस मीन्स इनफ। तो ये बोल रहे कि ये सेक्रीफाइस काफ़ी कब होगा, तो ये बोलते ये तय करना कि ये सेक्रीफाइस कब होगा, ये हेवन का पार्ट है, दैट्स हेवन पार्ट्स। तो ये जो दैट्स हेवन्स पार्ट है, जब ये बोलते दैट्स हेवन पार्ट, तो ये आपका रेफरेंस जो है वो हैमलेट से है। जब हैमलेट जो है वो कहते हैं कि उनकी मदर गर्ट्रूड को पनिशमेंट मिलना है या नहीं मिलना है, दैट्स हेवन्स पार्ट, दैट लीव हर टू द हेवन, तो वो हेमलेट से है। तो दिस क्वेश्चन इज यूजुअली आस्क्ड कि दिस इज हेवन्स पार्ट, ये रेफरेंस कहाँ से, तो ये हेमलेट ड्रामा से है, हेमलेट बाय विलियम शेक्सपियर। आवर पार्ट, ये बोलते हैं ये सेक्रीफाइस, ये स्ट्रगल कब खत्म होगा, ये हेवन डिसाइड करेगा। तो हमें क्या करना है, आवर पार्ट इज टू मर्मर नेम अपॉन नेम, हम सिर्फ नाम ले सकते हैं, नाम याद कर सकते हैं, होमेज पे कर सकते हैं, ट्रिब्यूट दे सकते हैं, किसको, जो इस सेक्रीफाइस को कर रहे हैं। और कैसे, देखिए एज, यहाँ पे देयर इज अ कंपैरिजन एज, तो ये सिमिली कंपैरिजन है, दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल सिमिली। बिल्कुल वैसे ही हम नाम लेंगे एज मदर नेम्स हर चाइल्ड, जैसे माँ अपने बच्चे का नाम लेती है। व्हेन स्लीप एट लास्ट हैज कम ऑन द लिम्स दैट रन वाइल्ड, तो वो बच्चा जिसके हाथ पैर, लिम्स इज हैंड्स फीट, जो रन वाइल्ड, दिन भर घूम रहे थे, वाइल्डली इधर उधर घूम रहे थे, तो रात को ये बच्चा जैसे सो जाता है, तो जैसे माँ अपने बच्चे का नाम लेकर बुलाती है, वैसे ही हमारा काम है कि हम भी इस रिवॉल्यूशनरी का नाम लेकर बताएं। तो यहाँ पर ये लाइन क्या बताती है कि वो डेथ को शॉर्ट लिव्ड बोल रहे हैं, कि डेथ इज जस्ट अ स्लीप। तो यहाँ पर रेज्यूरेक्शन की बात है, ये पूछते हैं कि किस तरीके का एटीट्यूड है पोएम में, तो रेज्यूरेक्शन, कि ये जो रिवॉल्यूशनरी है, दे हैव जस्ट गॉन टू स्लीप, दे विल बी बॉर्न अगेन। तो ये बोलते हैं जैसे माँ जो है वो अपने बच्चे का नाम नाम लेती है जब बच्चा लास्ट में सो जाता है थक के, जो दिन भर हैज़ रन वाइल्ड। तो अब ये बोलते हैं वॉज इट बट अ नाइटफॉल, क्या ये एक नाइटफॉल है, मतलब ये जो रिवॉल्यूशन उसके बाद सबका डेथ, क्या ये नाइटफॉल, इज अ क्वेश्चन। तो बोलते हैं नो नाइट बट डेथ, नाइट तो है बट दैट इज अलॉन्ग विथ इट। अब खुद ही ये क्वेश्चन करते हैं कि वॉज इट नीडलेस डेथ आफ्टर ऑल, क्या ये डेथ नीडलेस है, कि इसकी ज़रूरत थी। तो यहाँ पर वैलेंट नेचर पता चलता है पोएट का। एम्बीवैलेंट नेचर पोएट का पता चलता है। एंड दिस क्वेश्चन में बी आस्क्ड कि इस पोएम में पोएट का एटीट्यूड क्या है, तो पोएट का एटीट्यूड जो है वो एम्बीवैलेंट है, ही इज नाइदर इन द सपोर्ट नॉर अगेंस्ट इट। तो ये बोलते हैं वॉज इट नीडलेस डेथ आफ्टर ऑल। अब इनको लगता है कि फॉर इंग्लैंड में की फेथ, हो सकता है इंग्लैंड जो अपना फेथ जो प्रॉमिस किया था वो रख लेता, फॉर वॉट दैट इज डन एंड सेट। तो वो इंग्लैंड, वॉट फेथ कुड इंग्लैंड कीप, इंग्लैंड में अलाउ द होम रूल एक्ट 1914। तो ये किसका रेफरेंस है, होम रूल एक्ट 1914. So here in these two lines, poet wants to say that the British must still allow Home Rule Act 1914 to come into force without any uprising. So he says that कि क्या needless death था, होता है, हो सकता है ब्रिटिश जो है वो होम रूल ऐसे ही ला देते बिना रिवॉल्यूशन के, दैट वाज लाइक वेरी अनलाइकली। वी नो देयर ड्रीम्स, नाउ पोएट सेज वी नो देयर हु आर देयर रिवॉल्यूशनरीज ड्रीम इनफ टू नो दैट दे ड्रीम आर एंड आर डेड। अब हम इतना जानते हैं कि उन्होंने सपना देखा बट अब वो मर चुके हैं। और अब यहाँ पर देखिए ही इज अगेन sarcastic towards the revolutionary when he says what if the excess of love bewildered them till they died. He claims that they did not have love, they had excess of love, and they were, because of excess of love they had for the country, they were bewildered, they were lost until they died. Now he says I write out in a verse. अब मैं सिर्फ नाम लिख सकता हूँ वर्स में। सबसे पहला नाम किसका लिख रहे हैं, मैकडोना का, मैकडोना, थॉमस मैकडोना, थॉमस मैकडोना, जॉन मैकब्राइड, कॉनोली, जेम्स कॉनोली, पियर्स, पैट्रिक पियर्स. सो वी मस्ट रिमेंबर कि इसमें से 3 का नाम इसने पहले भी लिया है. मैकडोना का नाम पहले भी लिया रेफरेंस में, मैकब्राइड का लिया है, पियर्स का लिया, कॉनोली का नहीं लिया था. तो अगर क्वेश्चन पूछ दे कि इसमें से कौन कौन से रिवॉल्यूशनरी के बारे में बात है, नाम है, तो हमें याद रखना है कि वहाँ पर हमारे पास किसका, काउंटेस मार्केविस गॉरबुथ का नाम था. वहाँ पे थॉमस मैकडोना का भी नाम था, और जॉन मैकब्राइड का भी नाम था, पैट्रिक पियर्स का भी नाम था, और यहाँ पर हमारे पास एक और नाम है, जेम्स कॉनोली. तो आप बोलते हैं नाउ इन टाइम टू बी वट एवर वेर एवर ग्रीन इज वॉन. तो ग्रीन हियर इज सिंबल फॉर डबलिन. Green here is symbol for Dublin. Wherever green is won are changed and changed utterly. Everything is changed in Dublin, and a terrible beauty is born. But out of that, a terrible beauty is born. So this terrible beauty is an example of refrain. We have already discussed the terrible beauty. Why terrible? Because its revolution was destructive. And why beautiful? Because out of that, the feeling for the independence or feeling for the home rule emerged in the heart of the Irish people. So this is a poem, Easter 1916. Thank you.